Welcome back to part 3 of Art in the Kitchen. In this video, we're going to create coffee filter flowers. Coffee filter flowers are a great way to bring color and life to your house. There are a variety of ways to create these, and I'm excited to share them with you. In order to create a coffee filter flower, you will need coffee filters and pipe cleaners. You can substitute a pipe cleaner for a stick if necessary. In order to add color to your flowers, you're going to need one of these options: washable markers and a spray bottle, food dye or food coloring, watercolor, or as an alternative option, you could just use crayons. One of these options would work great for holding your flower together. Tissue paper or construction paper is optional, just to add a little bit of flair to your flowers. Paper towels or napkins are always great to have on hand, and we're going to use paper plates as our surface. Let's start off with the kid-friendly version. These flowers are perfect for any age. So now that we have our materials, it's time to add color to our coffee filters so they look like flowers. I'm going to start off with the marker and spray bottle technique. First, you're going to take the coffee filter and place one on your paper plate. Spread it out nice and flat. You're gonna take your Crayola markers or any washable marker. So now you can add any colors or patterns to your petals that you'd like, but just remember some color theory tips. Using colors that are similar will blend better than if you use colors that are opposite on the color wheel. So I would recommend keeping warm colors with warm colors and cool colors with cool colors. You'll notice that I'm using different lines and patterns so that each petal has its own individual look. You can also add colors that you know when you put them next to each other, they'll mix and create a new color. For instance, blue and red create purple. The more marker you add, the brighter the colors will be. Now that you have all your coffee filters ready, we're going to lay them in the sink and spray them with water. This is something I would normally recommend doing outside, but today we're going to use the sink. I'm going to lay down a paper plate and my coffee filter, test my spray bottle, and make sure that it's spraying in a mist. You can rinse off the plate in between your sprays if you don't want to contaminate the colors. You want to lay out the coffee filter on a paper towel or another plate. If you did this outside, you could just lay it out in the grass, but it's raining today in Pennsylvania and it's important that these dry. You can try experimenting and laying 2 down at once. I think this is going to be my favorite petal. While we wait for our coffee filters to dry, I'm going to demonstrate the other method using watercolor. So I'm going to use my plate with this method. I need my paintbrush, my water cup, and my watercolor palette. And you're going to apply the paint in the same way that you applied the marker in different patterns. The last technique that I'm going to share with you is the food coloring. You're going to want to drop this onto the coffee filter on top of a plate. Try spraying this down with water in the same way that we did with the washable markers. This is what I got after spraying it down with a water bottle. Now it's time to let everything dry. Now that everything is dry, let's check out the results. These were created with the washable markers. This was the watercolor. The top was the crayon resist, the bottom was the splatter painting. These were created with the food dye. The left I didn't spray and the right I did. And check out these awesome colorful paper towels. Now it's time to start cutting our coffee filters to look like petals. In order to save time, you can stack them up and cut more than one. You can also try folding the coffee filter and cutting it that way. Check out all my shapes. I even cut some of my paper towels, and don't forget the construction paper or tissue paper. In order to start assembling your flowers, you need to take your pipe cleaner and create a knot on one end. This will allow the coffee filter to go all the way down without falling off. Now I'm going to start constructing my flower by taking the coffee filter, stabbing the center, and then pushing the coffee filter all the way down. Don't forget to add tissue paper or construction paper in between your layers. Now we need to add tape around the bottom. You're going to want to cup the flower and then add tape all the way around. You can add more than one piece of tape for a better hold. Let's try making some realistic flowers using the dip technique. In order to make realistic coffee filter flowers, we are going to need some of the supplies that we used when we made the really colorful ones. You're going to need coffee filters, paper plates, pipe cleaners for your stems, tape, food coloring, water, and a spoon. You can choose to color the coffee filter or you can leave them white. I'm going to do a little bit of both for mine. First step, you're going to pour the water into the bottom of the plate. Then you're going to add 2 drops of food dye. Then mix with a spoon, take a stack of coffee filters, and dip them into the water. You have to be quick so that the water doesn't go all the way to the center. Try experimenting and adding multiple colors. Check out all these awesome colors. Now it's time to let everything dry. Now that everything is dry, we can start cutting our petals in the same way that we did with the really colorful version. Remember, you can pile up the coffee filters so that you can cut more than one at a time. This will help save a lot of time. I'm trying to cut my petals into 3 sizes: large, medium, and small. Now that you have all your petals cut, you can start assembling by starting with the largest petals first, working towards the smallest. Once you have them all piled up, you're going to want to pinch them from underneath. This will help keep them together as you start squishing and assembling them in the center. As you can see, I'm separating each individual layer so that you can see each petal. Now I'm going to turn it over and tape it from underneath. Another technique to create these flowers will make it look similar to a tulip. You'll take the coffee filter, cut it down the center, and roll it, then tape it together. This one turned out like a rose. Now that all my flowers are assembled, I'm going to attach them to a stick. Check these out. I put them in the garden for a pretty look. You can also just hang them around the house. This would be the difference between the realistic flowers and the bright and colorful flowers. They each have a completely different look. Thanks for watching part 3 of Art in the Kitchen. I'll see you guys next time.